after being out for a while, you see the cycles, and you can tell when you're starting to slip and fall back into that, and it'll happen then. Just happened again a couple weeks ago. I mean, and it'll happen again, and time again. It's just gone, 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 gone. Another one gone. Another one gone. Another one gone. And you know that could be you.
Did you ever struggle with that at all personally?
Yeah. With suicide?
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to kill myself in my car
How long ago was that?
right after I left the agency. I left the car running in the garage, leaned the seat back, and after a night of drinking, and somehow I didn't fucking die. I woke up in my bed because my entire house smelled like gasoline, and went downstairs, saw my gun on my couch, so I was probably going to shoot myself there. Then went out to the garage. The garage door was hot to the touch. Thought if I opened the door, I was going to, I don't know why I thought this, probably because I was still fucking drunk, but thought if I opened the door, I might be blown to smithereens. Opening the door, got in there, saw my car was still running, saw the seat laid back. Remembered leaning the seat back. Turns out it got so hot in there, my gas tank melted and the gas was leaking onto my muffler. And so I obviously shut the car off. And yeah, I didn't die.
Well, I'm glad you're here. That's wild, though.
It's good to be here.
But it doesn't, I do hear, and it's not just with veterans, by the way. It's with a lot of different people in this. Like, especially when you're feeling certain types of ways or whatever it may be, the drinking doesn't help with it. And so that situation, I mean, you're saying right there, you had a long night of drinking, and then you don't really know why, but
but every night and every day is a long day and a long night of drinking back then. That's how you cope. It's a coping mechanism. And there was a lot more than that. There was drugs, there was benzos, opiates, cocaine, booze, whatever I get my hands on to make me not think about things.
And that was the only time you tried it?
Yeah. That I actually tried to kill myself. Yeah, that was the only time.
Why do you think what do you think saved you?
God.
Was that something you had believed in growing up or something you found?
That's something I found. But are you talking about that night?
What?
Yeah.
No, in general, that time period.
Because I mean, I should be dead. You don't live through don't live through that. So that's the only explanation I've been able to come up with.
It's an amazing thing that you can't explain sometimes, but I do feel like maybe the universe intervenes in some things.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to make it through something. I'm sure you probably had moments like that, even in the military and in certain spots. But there's a reason for everything, and I see what you're doing now. And again, far from just your own story, but all these stories of all these guys you bring on and you give a light to, and they really open up in there. Sometimes for 6-7 hours on these episodes, you're doing a great thing for more than just veterans too. You're doing a great thing for people to get aware that, they're not alone in how they think. They're not alone in their own struggles. There are the strongest dudes in the world, in some cases, are going through this. And I can imagine that, we've had a few people in here before you also really open up on that. and it made a huge difference for some people. And I don't take lightly at all the messages I get, and it wasn't coming from my mouth.
Yeah.
You know, just like, hey man, that changed me, or like that. I've had messages where like that really saved me. Like hearing that, I know that sounds crazy, but like that man spoke the exact words that spoke to me and like spoke what I'm going through. And I think the more you do things like this, whether you're going on someone else's show or using your own platform to do it, it's an amazing thing. So I couldn't encourage that enough. And I really appreciate you opening up on that here. Cause I know that's a heavy thing. And you know, it's not really something like from the outside when I hear this stuff, it's not really something you can fully explain. It's just you get to a point, whatever it is. Obviously for you, that particular situation was shortly after leaving. It sounds like, I think you said that, right?
Yep.
You know, that's an extreme switch.
Yep.
You know?
I think, you know, the best advice I could give anybody getting out, who knows are going to struggle with this stuff, is be open and really work on reinventing yourself. You've got to just keep pushing forward.
And the one other thing I wanted to ask about is another thing you've been really open about with this for your own Zen, so to speak. But you did a psychedelic experience.
Mm-hmm.
What was it, about a year ago, something like that?
Yeah, it was a year ago.
What made you want to do that?
I was going back. I mean, it's a constant struggle. You know what I mean? I mean, that's the only time that I legitimately can say, yeah, I tried to kill myself. That doesn't mean I haven't thought about it several times, you know, and thought about how I would do it, stuff like that. And you, after being out for a while, you see the cycles, and you can tell when you're starting to slip and fall back into that. And it'll happen then, just happened again a couple weeks ago. I mean, and it'll happen again. You know what I mean? I'll start to see the signs. My wife will start to pick up the signs, and it's just an ongoing struggle, you know. And so that's what led me to it.
And what did you do specifically? I forget. Did you do psilocybin or?
I did ibogaine
Ibogaine,
and then 5-MeO DMT.
Okay, and what was that? Like, take me through that experience. Like, you went down to Mexico or Costa Rica to do it?
Yeah, I went down to Mexico and did it. And it was, I mean, it was nothing like I expected it. I thought, you know, I thought it was kind of hokey. You know, I've done a lot of drugs. I never did any drugs until after I left the teams. But I'll just say this, man, it changed me. You know, it changed me in a lot of ways. It made me a lot more open to things. It made me a lot more tolerant to things. I quit drinking. It took a lot of I was forced to face a lot of the trauma. I haven't drank coffee, hadn't drank any alcohol, haven't had any opiates, hadn't had any benzos, haven't done any of that stuff. You know?
Was that the goal, to stop any substance?
No, that was just a byproduct. I just wanted to be back in the moment. I had just had my son was just born, and my mind was elsewhere. And I didn't want it to be elsewhere. I wanted to be at home with my son, present in the moment, and it did that. The goal was accomplished, and that was a life-changing experience.
I've never heard.
Have you ever done them?
No, it's actually a big regret. I wrote my this Saturday in college when all my boys were doing it together. I wrote my term paper that day. And I actually do regret that. I would like to. But I will say that everyone I've spoken with who has done it, especially like in a medical setting like that, which I think is the right way to do it, to be honest.
Yeah.
I've not had one person not tell me that it was the most profound experience they ever had.
Yeah.
I hope I said that right. Basically, they all said it was profound as hell.
Yeah.
And it opened up, like they all explain it like it opened up things that they weren't looking to open up. Like you say, you weren't going down there like quit alcohol or something, but you just did. There's something that happened that you were just like, you know what, this isn't for me. And that's a positive, it's an amazing positive thing.
I mean, you hear the hippies say, it unlocks your brain. And I always thought that was like a figure of speech or something. It literally unlocks your fucking brain. And like scientifically, legitimately unlocks your brain. And some of the stuff that this is doing for guys is with, traumatic brain injury being blown up, not all the pistons are firing up there. And you get these brain scans and you'll see like black spots where there's zero brain activity. All of those spots are lighting up again, and they're doing studies, and it's being proven, that it's bringing guys back to who they are.
It's something that I would like to, and I hope a lot of people do. I'm just one guy, but I'd like to use a platform to get awareness on that. And I know you're doing a great job with that. A lot of people got to do it because it is especially something that seems to have a significant impact on veterans in particularly.
Yeah, it absolutely does.
For their health care and to fight back against the epidemic of veteran suicide and things like that. And when I hear that over and over again, it tells me why the fuck are we not normalizing this here? The fact, like, it pisses me off that you got to go down to Mexico to do that.
Yeah.
I don't like that. That should be something that is given to you.
Yeah. Well, I know they're working on some things,
Yeah.
and hopefully some of them pass. I know I think they have VA trials happening, so that'll be good. And hopefully Big Pharma doesn't fight back too hard, because this shit actually works, and everything that they've developed up to this point is not.
Thank you for watching the video, guys. If you haven't already subscribed, please smash that subscribe button and check out this clip's full podcast episode by clicking here or in the description below.